So let's look at making some shapes. To start out, if I wanted to draw an ellipse, I would write the word ellipse, and then I give it an X position, a Y position, and then a width and a height. So what this is going to do is draw my sketch at 100, 100 with a width of 100 and a height of 100. And so when I draw this, I have a white circle that is being drawn from the center point out to the edges at position 100, 100. Now what's kind of strange is inside screen space, it doesn't work in the normal sort of Cartesian sense of a grid going here and a line going here for our x-axis and our y-axis. Instead, our 0, 0 point is here and our height and width is here. So if I change this to 0 and 0, now this is going to draw in the very corner. If I drew this at the full width and the height, 600, 600, it's going to draw it all the way down here. So one thing that I've done for you inside one of the example sketches is File, Open Recent, and let's look at example still life. I'm just going to copy this from here. Is I've created a function for you to make it a little bit easier to see some of these guidelines. So you'll see down here at the end of your sketch, something like this. And that's because I've written a function to create guidelines. So when you draw this, now we can see the sort of Cartesian coordinates. So 100, 100 is here, 200, 200. If I did 300, 100, it would go right here. So let's actually draw this again at 100. Let's do 100, 400. So here I can see this is drawing at X position 100 and it's drawn at 400. One thing you can do is if you want to hide this is comment it out. And so you can do comments by 2 backslashes and that temporarily hides what you have. You can also do Control and the question mark key or backslash and it'll bring it back. It runs it again. I think it's a little bit easier to have this on. Now looking at this, if you notice, I haven't applied any color or any setting to my shape, but there's some default settings that have already started to happen. One is it has a fill of white, and it's a little bit hard to see because the background's white. So let's actually change the color of the background. If I did 100, it'll give me a grayish color. So my default setting here is a white fill with a black stroke, very similar to Illustrator. If I want to change that, I can use the commands or the functions for fill, and I could give it 255, 0, and 0, and that would give me a red fill. Just like that. I could give a stroke color of yellow, 255, 255, and 0. Let's run this again. You can see that has a little yellow outline. If I wanted to change the stroke weight, stroke capital W. And this is called camel case when you see lowercase to start out and uppercase at the second word. Stroke weight, and let's do 5. Run this again. And now we'll see that it has a stroke weight of 5 that's yellow and an inside color that's red. Now, what if I drew another shape right underneath? Ellipse. Let's put this one at 300, 300, and I'm going to make it 200 by 200. Now, one thing you'll notice is this is the one I just made. It has the exact same settings as the previous shape. And that's because I haven't put any commands between these two. So the order of operations is whatever comes last is whatever you see first. And if there's no overwriting of the statements, that's the previous statements will apply to what's below. So say, for example, I wanted to do a different fill color. So fill 0, 0, and 255 for RGB. So I'll get 100% blue. Now you see that that's been applied as just a blue color to this shape. If I didn't want a stroke on this shape, no stroke. So again, camel case, lowercase n, uppercase s, Command R, and now the shape has no stroke. So these are a couple ways of applying fill colors and stroke weights to getting basic shapes on your forms.